Took one more breath till I was taken down. 'Cause weight this heavy and some faith I drown. But you lift my head and redirect my focus. You say Earth's compass won't ever leave you hopeless. And you lead me to the sea of stars. If you're ever alive, the brightest one will always take you home.
And if you're ever feeling weak, they'll carry you straight back to me. You'll never be on this journey alone. They'll take you home. Catch your breath, darling, I've got you now. I'll cast a net that never lets you drown. I promise distance will only live in moments, and Earth's compass won't ever leave you hopeless.
You lead me to the sea of stars. Look up if you're ever alive. Brightest one will always take you home.
And if you're ever feeling weak, they'll carry you straight back to me. You'll never be on this journey alone. They'll take you home.
God save me home. God save me home.
Yeah, I had myself muted. That definitely happened. That didn't happen. Ignore the beginning where you just listened to me not listen to me. It was impossible because let's start over. Hey everybody, it's Sunday. Happy Mother's Day to those who are mothers out there, especially if you're in the United States, because that's where we're celebrating. I believe they celebrated in the UK like a month ago. Losers. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Y'all are awesome. You know why? Because we exist. So kind of play an important role. Not sure if you were aware of your role, but it's pretty damn important in terms of the continuation of the species. So thank you for that. And we're today going to be talking about Star Trek Fleet Command, of course, going over this SLB. Is the Doctor any value? Going over the star charts, which I love because it applies like critical thinking to the game, or you can just be like, hey, content creators, tell me the answer. So we'll go through all that stuff and talk to everybody that's here, because that's what we do. We are starting a little bit later, and that's okay. My kids were out actually having a great day with their mother. So here, I'll just I can pull up a picture you'll barely be able to see. There you go. They're off at like well, they're not off, but went to like a dinosaur land and stuff. Kids loved it. There was sunshine. It's beautiful. So starting a little bit late, but hopefully everybody's having a fantastic Sunday so far wherever you're at, and it's good to see everybody. It always makes me happy to see everybody. So welcome in. I've got really, I don't really have anything to add besides that. So let's just jump right into it. If you have questions, if you want to talk about specifically anything going on right now, let's jump into that. I think this is a good time as any to have at it. So, yeah. Is the Doctor worth it? Yes, I think the Doctor is good. Is he worth it? Up to you. Now, for those who are curious and who follow content creators as a whole, and I think the music is still a little bit loud. Let me turn it down just a smidge. There we go. I think that's much better for the music volume. Let me know. if y'all remember, in terms of who was DJ excited about, because DJ was really talking about, you know, officer coming out that he thought was incredible. This was the officer. And I also think this is a good officer. I wasn't as excited as DJ, but I do really like the EMH here, the doctor. I think that he can really help out a lot of people's games in terms of generalized use. The real question comes into how much I think they can contribute. And that's kind of going to lead to, should we bother with this SMS, which is another heroic, crappy SMS that we hate? And should we worry with going after the SLB? Now, I think that most servers are probably going to see some high usage in the first run. You can see here on my server, the top score is already 53 million, and we're not towards the end yet. So we've still got 22 hours left, and my bracket is 53 million. Absolutely no chance that Rev's going to go after this bracket. Maybe the end of the month, hopefully it's calmed down a little bit and maybe I can make a play. But the combination of his below decks ability, which is called Renaissance Man, let's pull it up real quick, in conjunction with a lot of things that we already have in the game, the best way to describe it is, now I haven't had him for myself, but as he should work, he's basically 5 of 11 for below decks, 5 of 11's loot ability. So that would affect rep grinding, that would affect Armada income, that would affect, you know, ship parts. So the value of what it looks like as a below deck officer is insanely high. And then the secondary officer, or the officer ability, the secondary ability is not bad either when you take hull damage from a non-player hostile or Armada. So PvE or Armadas increases your armor, shield deflection, and dodge. So it's another mitigation officer, but more importantly, the below decks officer really looks like, or the below deck's ability really looks like that could provide a ton of value to the average player. And I guess the tricky thing is, how much is that value worth to you? I would say the 15% rank 1 bonus is not super compelling, but I would add that he maxes out at 50%. This is another officer that I think is good, but I also think is just borderline not, like, he could be great. But he's another one that I think you kind of need to have high tiers in to get really excited, but I don't think he's bad. So I'm curious, if you're in the chat, are you going after him? Why didn't they give the doctor a captain's ability? Well, simple, Jeremy Luther. When they're making these officers, they're not going to make an officer that has all 3 available. And currently the trend is we have a ton of captain's abilities and a ton of officer abilities, but truthfully, even though we've been adding them in the past year, there are not as many lower deck abilities. So the lower deck abilities provides a different element to the game. And again, I know I've been harping on things like power creep for a long time, but this is something that he provides in conjunction with a lot of these other officers like Tindy and, you know, Hugh, who's been a grand addition, Galinar. We have a lot of good officers that provide below deck abilities. And truthfully, I don't know, everybody's gonna be like, well, the doctor had the emergency command protocol and all that. But truthfully, the doctor's not a command officer anyway. He's literally the doctor. He's the EMH. So I have no problem with it thematically, with the lore of the game. I'm okay with it as long as the abilities have value. And I think that it does. And if you compare him stats wise, which is going to be another thing, one, any officer that you have as tier 1 is probably going to struggle a little bit in stats, right? That's just kind of like a natural thing that you're going to have to worry about. But what is really important to note as a stat officer is that he's got really nice health stats. He's very heavily weighted towards health, which is what so many officer abilities use in the game. His health, so like if you had him at rank 5, his natural raw health stats is 268 versus 134 to his other 2 categories. In comparison, you look at, say, 5 of 11, she's mostly defense, and 383 at tier 5. Let's talk about max. She's 2,500 in defense, 5 of 11 is at max, and then the doctor here, he is 1767, I think, at max. So statistically, he's a health officer. Now, he's a little bit more branched out into other areas. He's not as statistically heavy as the Borg tend to be. If you've never noticed, the Borg are typically your heaviest officers stat-wise. But He is health focused, which could be important depending on what slot you have to put him in. And that brings up another conversation for the doctor is viability in terms of using. Is he worth sacrificing if you don't have a high tier ship? It's like if you've got like a tier 8 Augur, Enterprise, Valdor, whatever, you can fit several officers below decks and also hit your officer bonus. But you've got like a tier 3 ship, you have to be very picky about what you put underneath. So for example, my Pylum, in terms of hostile grinding, runs Strange New Worlds and has Galinar and Hugh below decks. Now, the Galinar doesn't necessarily need to be there. He's there just, I could swap him out. But I've only got 3 underdeck spots for a tier 5 ship. Would I put the Doctor underneath here? And that becomes the debate you have. Or is it better to, say, take that health as high as I can get that more whole health to my ship? And that's going to be part of the discussion you have to have with yourself when you go over, does this have value to me as a player? All right, so let me jump into the questions. I've been going through the basics of the Doctor like we're doing a YouTube video, which I will do a YouTube video on the Doctor, don't worry. But just kind of give y'all a breakdown. Q, thank you so much for the $2.99 super chat dono, by the way. That helps out a lot. It really does. Oh, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for supporting me and my family. So, appreciate you. Sugar Family says emergical when you have magic, when you behave magically during an emergency. Oh, Sugar Fat Man, I'm gonna make a t-shirt for that. I'm not, but it's hilarious. Aaron says 500 uncommon G4 gas away from going from ops 42 to ops 46. Now I just need an officer to go after. And see, that's the question, Aaron, I have for you is when you look at the Doctor, do you see the Doctor being worth that? And you're completely okay to say no. Do you see that? See, Chelsea says, I feel like the Doctor EMA should be an officer you can't do without. Personally, this goes into, and I think, depends on what angle you're coming from that, Chelsea. For me, I think it comes down to what do you prefer? Are we talking game? Or are we talking like lore? Because like if I'm ranking my top 5 Doctors in Star Trek, EMH is not in the top 5. I mean, that doesn't mean I don't love the EMH. I think he's a good character. But like I have Beverly Crusher up there. I personally love Phlox. Phlox honestly might be my favorite Doctor. Judge me away. But I love Bones. I mean, it depends on what angle. If you're just coming from, he's an epic officer, what are you dictating the can't do without? Are you just talking about from the game perspective? For Voyager is integral? Well, I mean, he was a key character. Everybody was integral, but I don't think everybody should be can't do without. I don't think that's possible. Like, I don't think you can make every officer in this game that's critical to their series can't do without, because if everybody's can't do without, then nobody's can't do without. So it's, again, this is relative because there are a lot of people out there who love Voyager. And I think personally that Voyager is probably the weakest or second weakest of Star Trek. I still like Voyager. Voyager is fantastic because it's Star Trek. But this really comes down to what is it that you're looking for in an officer? And, you know, that's the tricky thing for Star Trek Fleet Command. They've got to make people happy. So you think he should be game changing like Pike was? I respect that. And in a way, Chelsea, he is game changing because he is a massive loot increase, but that might not have value to everybody. If I had to pick people, so me personally, when I look at, hey, a series is coming out, I want maybe the top 2 characters to be game changing. So in terms of Voyager, I'm thinking Janeway and 7 of 9. Sorry, Chakotay. No offense. I think those should be the game-changing best from Voyager, and then everybody else is useful. And I think EMH is very useful, but would I take EMH over an amazing 7 of 9 character? I personally wouldn't. Would I take it over an amazing Janeway character? Personally wouldn't. In Atomic, yeah, they do have 7 of 9, but they don't have Voyager 7 of 9. They have Picard 7 of 9. You know this game will definitely go multiple variants of the same character. In Atomic, thank you, by the way. Or it says, have a beer on me or a gallon of milk. Atomic, don't take this wrong. I do appreciate the $2 because it helps out a lot. $2 can't buy either one of those things. Have you seen today's economy? It's insane. $2 can't buy a gallon of milk, or I don't drink beer, but it can't buy, except for like a crappy American beer. But I still appreciate the $2. Thank you. I really do. Thank you. Joseph said if he's farmable with whether Voyager refinery loop they add, it would be good. And see, that's another big question, Joseph, is what is that going to look like? Because we've had good sourcing for officers come in, and we've also had bad sourcing come in. Odo is an extremely important officer, has no sourcing. Cisco is an extremely important officer, has sourcing. And that definitely is another argument with this that we don't know the answer to because they haven't made it public, right? Steven says probably get Neelix as a below decks morale officer. See, that would make sense logically. I'm not a fan of the Neelix character though, so it's like, look, there are some characters I love from Voyager. I'm a personal believer that like 7 of 9's character became elite in Picard, but was used really wrongly in 7 of 9 in terms of in Voyager. But I also think there's some awful characters in Voyager, and I think awful is Neelix and Yes. I hate those characters. But I love Janeway. I love 7. I think Chakotay got really bad writing in the second half of Voyager. They basically just kind of wrote him off while still allowing him to be on the show. So if you like Neelix, he's got a charm about him. See, and this is what I love about Star Trek is there's enough for all of us to like it. And I find Neelix incredibly annoying. But at the same time, doesn't mean he's not a likable character. Because there's definitely a lot of people who like Neelix. You know, I dislike Neelix because of like, I wouldn't want that person in my life. So he bugs me. But that's a literal personal preference, right? What about Tuvix? I'm a personal believer that even though I can't stand Neelix, Tuvix should have died so that Tuvok and Neelix could live. 2 is more important than 1. The needs of the many. Yeah. Go get yourself into the game. Could be an Officer Revix. I will hurt you. But I would love to be in the game. For sure. I don't care if I was completely useless. Like they put me in as a common that has no power. Sure. Oh, thank you, Paula. Did you Discord it to me? Did you Discord to me or did you just tag me somewhere? I found it. Thank you. We'll share it here on stream in a second. We save it. Yes. Neelix started off as annoying, but got much better by the end. I mean, that's fair. First impressions are very important to me. But maybe I'm all right with Neelix because I grew up watching Alf. I have no knowledge of Alf. Like I've honestly never. I know what Alf is, but I've never seen. So. Yeah, I'm here for all the arguments though. Jeff says 511 in Artifact event might get her this month. 511 is an amazing officer. 5 of 11 is the original Doctor in terms of ability. Like we love 5 of 11's mitigation ability, but what we really love is 5 of 11's loot ability because of how it works on everything. Like 5 of 11 works on your rep grind, your armadas. I mean, we love 5 of 11 for just the versatility of how she works. So Tom Paris win. Well, Samu, I'll say this, Samu. You can expect your major characters to be officers at some point. I can't tell y'all when they're coming because Scopely's really picky about letting people know stuff's happening. I don't know why, but be shocked if you don't see Tom Paris or Janeway or etc. So if you are a huge fan of Voyager, you're going to see them. Now, I guess the honest question, Samu, is would you rather have Tom Paris or Captain Proton? Tom Paris or Captain Proton? Who would you rather have? Ooh, don't want to use her. Tom Paris or Captain Proton? Do the officers in the transporter pattern store change from time to time? So, Jeff, they'll add some from time to time? Unless they change. Hey, Thief, good to see you. Yo, Thief. How you doing, buddy? It's been a while. Good to see you. I miss you, man. I know you're busy. You got like a whole important real life, but I hope you're doing well. Good to see you. You mean how they treated Locuta 7-9 and Borg Queen? I have no personal issue with how they treated Borg Queen 7-9 or Locutus, but that's just me. Again, at the end of the day, it's a video game, and you can't make everybody just like crazy OP or important. I think making Locutus a fleet commander makes sense. I think even though whether you watch Voyager, whether you're talking about First Contact, whether you're talking about Picard, yes, the Borg Queen is a leader, but That's not the active role she takes in the series. Yes, she's the leader, but she's not out there commanding Borg cubes and running starships. She's more of an overarching queen. So I personally have no issue with that, but I totally get it if somebody does. But I think at the end of the day, the problem is with that whole thought process is you can't make everybody to their level in a video game, because then everything's incredibly imbalanced, right? Also, gotta give a shout out to Miss Lisa. Thank you for supporting me and my kids. This is very, very kind of you. I've put it up on the chart. Thank you. This helps out a lot, and I really, really appreciate you. Thank you. Yeah, the Borg Queen's an admin. She brings order to chaos. There you go. So both Captain Proton can be a common and officer. See, that's another thing I can't get them to do. I can't get them to make common and even uncommon officers anymore. They won't do it. Like, I harp on it so much. I think restoring balance of the game is more common and uncommon officers, which means admitting that some things aren't that important. Like some officers are side characters and you're collecting them for fun's sake. Hank, thank you so much for gifting a membership to the channel. I appreciate it. Bears fan, good to see you. Chunky, good to see you. There's no money. I mean, I understand the reason, Joseph. I'm just like, the logic there's still a little bit flawed to me, though, because a lot of officers don't make money anyway. You take the officers that came out this month. They come into each month with an understanding that we're probably going to give away an officer, and that's part of retention. That's part of engagement. This month, that officer is B'Elanna Torres. Now, giving away tier 1 doesn't mean you're giving away completely, because you still got to like level her and max her and everything, but I'm pretty sure there's a free-to-play meta path between the battle pass and our SMSs this month. I'll double check it, but that's kind of been the expectations. There are rares. If there's 2 of them, one of them's definitely paywalled. One's generally free-to-play path for tier 1. And if there's an epic, it's definitely going to be locked behind a paywall in the first month minimum. So, I mean, I think if you made uncommons, you're not really upsetting that balance. It would just actually give more people more. And even if that uncommon wasn't super valuable, you can make it a side character. And for example, you can have month 1 of Voyager be Captain Proton, but then actually have month 3 give you Tom Paris. And Captain Proton's, you know, a holodeck officer or something, like almost useless, but you've got him because it's collection and you like it and you want to do more. Yeah, Hugo, I know if you buy the $20 battle pass, you'll get B'Elanna Torres. I don't know. I'll have to go back and re-add. Remember, they took away our events chart on STFC.space. Stupid scoper. So I'll have to chart manually on whether she gets put through our normal process. When will B'Elanna still open the store for purchase? I don't know. I'll have to ask the Arc Runner that. That's a question I'd have to directly ask the Arc Runner. Will there be a Disco A? I'm kind of sad that Disco is that weak, because in the series it destroyed the sarcophagus. Well, by comparison, Samu, the sarcophagus is also a piece of crap in Star Trek Fleet Command. And if you ask most Star Trek fans, most of them are okay with both of those being bad, because a lot of people have issues with Discovery. I like Discovery, but it's not the strongest Star Trek in the world by any means. Every officer level adds to the new building level? Correct, Chelsea. So for the armory, hit my F1 button real quick. Every time you level up an officer, it's going to increase this right here. And let me speed up so you can just quickly see it. I guess I could have gone to my officer menu, but my mess hall is 44. I've got 2580 because there's so many officers I just need to update that I haven't. But yeah, how far you can progress, this is tied to your officer level, and every time you level up an officer, this number will go up. So, hopefully update recruit pools and Ultra Premier. I mean, at some point, Hemi. I mean, they've done it multiple times, but they've also diluted them multiple times. And that thing needs an entire revamp. I think needs an entire revamp. I think most of us can agree on that. Will B'Elanna become the must-have once the event store has her? All right, so let me pull up B'Elanna. We talked about the Doctor pretty heavily, so let's pull up B'Elanna. Personally, I'm not super crazy about B'Elanna. When you take damage from a non-player, increases your armor piercing, shield piercing accuracy by attack for 1 round. You've already got officers that do this, and you've already got officers who do it better. But again, I'm not like anti B'Elanna Torres. I guess we need to see what the full set of Voyager looks like, but that's not super great. Again, that's tier 1. I'll give you the tier 5 numbers real quick. So if you max her out, because we do talk about like my Miles O'Brien's about to be maxed, and he's incredible. maxes out at 1,500%. Now we're getting into how much can we stack for the stat of attack to make that effective. The reason that 6 of 11 is so insanely good is because 6 of 11 actually affects base. And then you have the below deck ability, which is 10% to apply hull breach, and this maxes out at 100%. So at max, yeah, I really, really like Belana Torres. There's my hull breach. Now, come on, that's not PvP, but that just gave you pure hull breach no matter what for an Armada by saving a bridge slot. That is incredibly valuable, but it only matters at minimum tier 4. If it's 10, because tier 1's 10%, tier 2's 15, tier 3's 30, then tier 4 is 60. This ability is fantastic for your Armada runs as an alliance, but only if she's tier 4 or tier 5. She's completely useless until at least tier 4. You do not want to get rid of Lorca. You do not want to get rid of Gorkon for a 30% chance per round. That is just, that RNG will kill you. But if you had 60 or 100, yes, that could be great. But then it comes down to, all right, what's the sourcing going to look like? You know, can we even reasonably get there? With Miles O'Brien, we have reasonably gotten there. If you've not got there yet, you were close to getting there because of how the Bajoran store works. I've actually got to go do Armadas today. But I am sitting at, let's see, not this, was the rare one that I'll see Miles in. I'm 8 away from maxing out Miles O'Brien, and I've maxed out Changeling Kira because the sourcing of these is so good. Sourcing of these is so good. If Belana Torres has that sourcing, I'm going to push everybody to do whatever loop is involved to make that happen. If she is not available like that, I'm not. Because I'll be honest, if you devote every bit of event store loot you get to a rare officer, you typically cannot get them to tier 4 as a free-to-play player. So then I'm probably not going to push it that hard anyway. If they end up doing what I believe is stupid and providing no actual sourcing for these officers in this arc besides like an event store, I'm not going to push players to go hardcore after her because you need that tier 4 minimum. And if you are a free-to-play or even a light spender, an event store is not taking a rare officer to tier 4. It might give you 2 tiers at max, like the first 2 tiers. It's not getting you up to tier 4. So how they end up deciding to deploy that will determine how much I encourage people to go after. Right now, Belana Torres is tentatively going to be one of the most important officers you can have for an Armada. Tentatively. But we don't know how that's going to look. We don't know how that's going to look. Hopefully everybody ends up having her tier 1 this month. And then from there, we're just going to wait and see what happens. We're going to wait and see what happens. But yeah, is there a difference between how 6 of 11 works and how Changeling Kira works? I.e., does Kira add benefit to the entire Armada as opposed to 6 of 11 only working on the ship he's in? All right, so that's kind of 2 different questions. 6 of 11 is one of the only officers that works how he works for piercing. But do they work the same way? No. In fact, one of our favorite German math nerds, Hugo, is in chat, and I'm sure they would love to do a quick breakdown. The reason that 6 of 11 is so unique and important is 6 of 11 works on base, and all the research you actually do makes him even stronger. And there's still not been another Armada officer, piercing and mitigation wise anyway, that is as valuable as him. I don't know if they'll ever make another one. That doesn't mean Changing Kira is awful. Changing Kira can be useful, especially maxed out like I have. I still don't use her because I use that slot for hull breach. But I'll tell you this, if I had Belana Torres at tier 4 or tier 5 to give him a hull breach, my Armada crew would change from going Cisco, Miles, Lorca on my second Armada crew to going Cisco, Miles, Changeling Kira. So there is value there, but it's going to be relevant to the crews that you're running and what all you have unlocked. And this is why I'm always open for those who've not been told this reminder. If you want to contact me on Discord or Facebook and you want personal help with your game, I'm more than happy to do it. Now, I can't necessarily give you like 3 hours of my time, or anything, but can't guarantee I respond to you the minute you message me, but I'm more than happy to help with that. And if you want to contact my Facebook page, I just put it in the chat, or if you want to hit me up on Discord, links there. I'm here for both of them. But yeah, can you use 6 of 11 and change the cure on the same ship to increase the effect faster? So technically, kinda, but no. You would actually be hurting yourself if you try to do that. Short answer is you would hurt yourself trying to do that. Now, Hugo adds, Kira has a huge problem. While 6 of 11 gets boosted from research and buildings, fake Kira, changing Kira, gets nothing. You're very reliant on your attack stats. When the Armada gets too big, you are screwed. So what there's basically, I think the easiest way to explain this with characters that work how Changeling Kira works. If you are in the 20s or 30s, they can be very, very effective. The higher level you get, the stronger the Armadas get, the crazier high the stats get, the less effective an officer like Changeling Kira can be. Because it's stat reliant. And when these numbers, you see Armadas will have like 700,000 defense or 700,000 of a mitigation stat, or, you know, getting into the millions. You would need such an absurd amount to get there. You're not finding as much value. But it's pretty easy between the buildings we have now, like the mess hall and the fleet commander building and the researches, where like if you're level 35, yeah, I mean, you can actually get to 30,000 stats, 40,000 stats, and have that attack super high and really useful. Really useful. But it's just how they apply and how they work that is inherently different at the very base core. As in, Changeling Kira is doing an additive, whereas 6 of 11 is actually changing the base mechanic of how piercing works and is applied. So it's just where in the mathematical Scopely math formula they're attacking. And there's no, like, Changeling Kira is not as good as 6. The big difference there. No, I'm cool with, that's what I'm here for, Chelsea. We're here for questions, and there's like super math nerdy people out there who are glad to help. Myself, Hugo, RBV is usually around. We've got Order to Chaos on my Discord. We got Pseudo, obviously Ultimate DJ. We're here for it. We're here for it. We love the math. I love the math. Some people don't like the math, but I love the math. For those asking what my first Armada crew is, it's still this one, 5-6 con. I can technically make a better Armada crew. So like if I wanted to make an Armada crew that was just based on pure ability and I wanted to send one ship out, Cisco Miles 6 would probably be my top Armada crew. But because I focus so much on solo Armadas because of how much they've improved my game, I run 5-6 con and then I run Cisco, Miles, Lorca as my top two. And then my third will either be another critical run, or it'll be a loot run, or it'll be a mix of the two. So, will they ever bring in Voyager? I mean, maybe if they end up start doing the movies, sure. I don't know when or where that's going to be, but I've been, arguing that they should make movies or like arcs around the movies for a while. Have an option in transport patterns to get con or 6 of 11. What would you get first? I would, if you're talking about who's more important to unlock first in transporter patterns, and honestly, who's more important to max first, 6 of 11. Con has weekly sourcing as well as easier sourcing through factions. So if you go and do your augment pulls, you have augment recruit 6 to help you with con sourcing. I know it's not amazing, but it still helps. You have con in your ultras and stuff, and you have Swarm Sunday that pays out con shards through 2 different events. 6 of 11 doesn't have that level of sourcing, but is still that level of important. And you need to get 6 of 11 tiered, because 6 of 11 at tier 1 is not the game-changing officer that I'm saying they are. 6 of 11 needs to get more oomph behind them before they become this, holy crap, look at what they're doing to mitigation. So yeah, there's my thoughts. I would go after 6 of 11, who is, in my opinion, the most important individual officer to max in transporter patterns. As the most important individual officer to max in transporter patterns is 6 of 11. And I know some people are kind of frustrated with the amount of Armadas we have right now. Like I have a tier 4, 6 of 11. But obviously Armadas are an integral part of the game right now. An integral part of the game. And whether you love them or hate them, this is one of the best officers you can have in the game right now, just bar none. That doesn't mean there aren't important ones. Like I have a Max Khan and he is valuable. You know, the Trinity officers still have value, not as much as they did 3 years ago, but still have value. Pike at tier 1 is a must-have. Like just unlocking Pike. I mean, if you were, for example, let me answer this real quick, Jeff. I know you didn't ask this, but I want to give it because we have like 400 people listening. If you are a level 30 player and you're like, hey, I just unlocked transporter patterns, field training gave me Moreau, but I have horrible RNG and I still don't have Pike, get Pike. Like beyond anything, who's the most important officer to get at tier 1 as quickly as possible? Pike is the most important officer to get at tier 1 as quickly as possible. Don't care about maxing him though. His his not below deck. His officer ability is useful for ship XP, but you need him tier 1. You don't need him past that. 6 of 11, you need past that. You need past that. And there's other good, like Eurydice has good use, or Eurydice, I like to call Eurydice, has good use. Skinny Mud has good uses, maybe not Focus. Giorgio is a good officer. I think 3 of 11 is worth having tier 1 no matter what, because protected cargo, important. But yeah, there's my generalized advice. EMC changed everything for you? Yeah, for sure. Like I do, when I go out and do, I don't know how many of y'all have come to my Twitch streams lately, but I've been doing my rep grinding where I'm also trying to grind Newton BPs and Kelvin BPs. So I use 3 loot crews right now, or I use 3 grinding crews right now. I use Pipe Road Chin on the Katinga. I use my Strange New World with full synergy, Hubelo Dex, etc. on the Pylum, and then I use Picard Beverly Cath on my Valdor. And I go out there with 3 ships into Seoul, and I grind there. And every 50 boxes, I'll make a pull, and usually get some pretty good returns for it. And that's because I've collected those officers over time. Sadly, Picard doesn't have good sourcing to this day, which is still stupid. But yeah, getting Pipe Road Chin and then getting your Strange New World, which is through your Mantis loop, is a very nice game changer and positive addition. TOS Spock is good to go to after early if you're focused on PvP. I agree, Ming. He is a very, very good PvP officer, but he needs to be maxed. He needs to be maxed. And he does lose some of the value if you get into like the upper 40s and 50s, but he's still a good officer. The Pylum BPs drop anywhere? Yeah. Romulus. Technically, they will also drop. It's the level of the hostile, Aaron. So if you come up to Soul, it's a level 60 system, but the hostiles are, 49s. And the correlating hostile to that in deep space is Warp 160. So you got a chance of those 49s and above. Like I've come to Ryland and I'll definitely get them. And you'll have them drop here. And keep in mind, the chance of that is low. And I'm giving you the Federation variant so that if I want Newton BPs, they will drop in Nyland or Ryland. They can technically drop if I'm only hitting the 49s in New Reykjavik. But Soul will potentially drop Hydra, Kelvin, Newton. Its warp range is closer. The only drawback to me grinding these is I'm not getting the ship parts for interceptors and stuff like that. That's the only drawback. Which is a drawback, honestly, because I really need those. But yeah, there we go. What are these? I'm curious. Oh, we're just running regularly Armadas right now? All right, cool. That's fine. I'm not going to do this right now because I need to go and do my Swarm Sunday so I can get transporter patterns. For those curious, yes, even though it doesn't show, you do get transporter patterns for both events on Swarm Sunday. There's been some confusion about that in the past. So if you do want to get your transporter patterns guaranteed, keep doing Swarm Sunday. If it doesn't have value to you because it's a pain in the butt, also understandable, don't do it then. Whatever you want to do is fine. Whatever you want to do is fine. For the Discovery Shard, is it better to pull them in stacks or just single pulls? Benji, it honestly doesn't really matter. The only reason to debate between single pulls and max pulls is if there is a difference in efficiency in terms of cost. It costs the same to do in 5 as it is to do in 1. Like 1 is 100, 5 is 500. There are some things that scale inappropriately, like Crucible of War. You'll do 1 proper cost, second box is double the cost, and the third box is like quadruple the cost for no reason. It doesn't matter. It's one of those like, it doesn't matter if you collect 50 PvE boxes or 100 PvE boxes. Whatever's in the box is already determined when the box drops. Now, it's easier to see probabilities with larger numbers, but the probabilities don't change based on you pulling smaller numbers. Does that make sense? but it's easier to see them when you get bigger bunches, but they don't change. They're the same. Let me actually do my anomalous phenomenon before I forget. Discovery refines is better to do the 60 or 120 tokens rather than 24. Who you talking? Oh, you're talking about the actual refinery one. Okay, I was talking about the officer pool. So were we talking about the other thing? Because if so, I just mixed up what we were talking about. Already have the oh yeah, the disco's already out. Cool. Disco's already out. Does Stranger World Hammer actually add value on the bridge? He's against miners. Yes. Here's why. This is the officer for my interceptor fighting an explorer, or fighting an interceptor from explorer. Even though this doesn't do anything against the swarm, he does give synergy to Strange New World Pike, which is very, very, very important. Very, very, very important. What this does is this takes my shield deflection to 94%. I'm natively at 80. So if you remember, in a battle log, there's 3 layers. I can show y'all if y'all want a visual. There's 3 layers. First one is mitigation. Second one is your shield bypass, shield deflection, whatever you want to call it. I don't like to use the word mitigation because mitigation is the first level. Then the next part is how your shields work. Natively, your shields stop 80% of any non-mitigated damage. So after mitigation, whatever's left, shields will stop 80 of it. This bumps that up to 94, which is a pretty significant boost. Hammer gives you +5. So his purpose there is to give you full synergy. Now, I could technically use Una, but it's easier to get a Hammer than it is Una. So my Hammer actually has better stats, and I got him before I had Una. So you're doing it just simply to get that full synergy for Pike as a captain, because getting that shield up to 94% it reduces the amount of damage you take, which means you have more survivability. Less damage actually goes to the hull. So that's the value of Hammer. Even though individually he's not doing anything as an officer, he is contributing to the greater whole. So fun facts. See, this is why this game can be so complicated, because there's so many things. By the way, if you enjoy the game, we've got merch. You want to support the channel? Links in the description. Also, extra support merch. I'm actually wearing one right now. You want to be a booty hunter? I think everybody in this chat is a booty hunter in one form or fashion. I'm talking about OPC hunting and Star Trek Fleet Command, you dirty pervs. But you could use it for other purposes. Check out this and other great items in our merch store and support the channel, RevDeuce.com. Don't forget, if you sign up to be a member on RevDeuce.com at the lieutenant level or higher, we do monthly movie nights. Our first movie night is planned for this upcoming Saturday. We'll Rev for the first time. We'll watch either Fifth Element or Demolition Man with y'all. So that's gonna be fun. There's a sales pitch right there, because hey, streamers got to make a living. All right, did they discontinue giving transport patterns for tomorrow, Swim Sunday? Nope. Still gives it. Still gives it. No changes have been made that I've been aware of. Harrison, you like the merch store? Thank you. And here, actually, there's a link. I have a friend who lacks charisma. Would you happen to have a t-shirt they could buy? I do. I made it as a joke. If y'all want a good Star Trek Fleet Command joke, I'll show you a t-shirt I made. Now, I say it's a joke. We've actually had somebody buy it. But I'm going to give y'all a laugh real quick, because everybody here knows Star Trek Fleet Command's packs are crazy. But on the merch store, so here's some of the Star Trek Fleet Command merch we have. If you scroll down, there's our regular t-shirts. No loot, no shoot. I'm a big fan of that. OPC's OPC. But we actually have a RevDeuce Prime shirt, which is a 100% bonus to charisma for $99.99. It's made as a joke. You are not expected to buy this, but it is hilarious, and somebody did buy it. I don't even have it, but it is hilarious. It makes me laugh every time I see it. It's just funny. So get the RevDeuce Prime shirt so that you can have a 100% bonus to your charisma. Remember, that's an efficiency formula, so you're not actually going to have a 100% boost. I like to have fun. So, there we go. Can you do a Deep Space video, or do you have one already? I missed it. So Daryl, what is your question about Deep Space? I guess would be what is it that you're actually wanting? If I had a free 100, I would do it. Hey, go for it. Again, I don't expect anybody to actually buy it. I just think it's hilarious. Calculate from base charisma. Exactly, Chelsea. So like if your base charisma is very low, T-shirt's not gonna do much for you, but it's a talking piece. I mean, people are gonna ask, who the hell is Rev Deuce and what's the Prime about? So there you go. There you go. The search works better on Klingons. So Tarkus, what you're saying is I should find the word Prime in Klingon to make Rev Deuce Prime, but it says it in Klingon. I would like to see an officer chest that has all officers in it, but it will only give officer shards out, and once you have maxed that officer, it leaves the chest. I mean, that sounds really cool, natural. And obviously, as a player, I think that'd be really great. Coding, that sounds like a nightmare. Probably why they haven't done it. But I mean, as a player, I would 100% agree that something like that would be wonderful as an addition to the game. Wonderful as an addition to the game. So. We're on Stranger War Hammer below decks. Makes sense. He does have a below deck ability as well. Hammer does. I've actually never really used Hammer as a below deck officer, but because you brought it up, let me go ahead and bring him up. Where you at, Hammer? So he does have the telepathic resolve, which is increases health of all officers on the ship by 70% of their base value. Which, again, nothing wrong with that. I don't think it's a super valuable below deck ability, but it's fine. It's fine. I've never used them below decks. Gotta sell your Prime shirt in pieces like the faction Prime packs. Oh no, we've actually done that before, Zephyr. We've actually had a person. So one person I know has bought the shirt, but I actually made a deal with somebody. I said, hey, if you buy 5 other t-shirts, you can have the Prime one for free. And I did that. They bought 5. They bought 3 shirts, a mug, and something else from the merch store. And I sent them the shirt. That's fine. If you're out there and you want to buy 5 pieces of Rev Deuce merch, I will send you the t-shirt. Deal. Done. You can have the Rev Deuce Prime t-shirt. Go buy you 5 pieces of merch. Go for it. Again, I don't expect people to do that. But I'm just saying, we've got mouse pads, mugs, containers, shirts, hoodies, crop tops. I've got a bikini on there for, I don't care if you're a lady or a man, whoever wants to wear it. We got all kinds of stuff. So, afternoon Rev, any Mother Day's plans? So the mother of my children is actually out with their mother right now, maybe later. But, man, let me just real quick give y'all a real life tangent as we talk about Star Trek. It is so expensive to get a babysitter. Like a trustworthy babysitter that doesn't live in a meth house and stuff like that. We're talking about like $20, $30 an hour. And it just gets expensive. And I would love to, but if y'all remember, I'm saving money to fix the foundation of the house. Did get the garage fixed. Just went ahead and did that. Also, still need furniture for certain places. We've only been here about a year. The kids have got bills. My son he's autistic. He has some bills that we have to cover. So I don't always get to do date nights. I'd love to. I'd actually love to go see Ant-Man. One of the things that we actually do together, me and her, is we go see the Marvel movies. Regardless of if they're good, we go see the Marvel movies every time they come out. So I'd love to do that, but got to pay for the babysitter first. I mean, I've reached that point of being an adult where to go out no longer costs like $30. It costs food for the babysitter, the tickets for the movies, the food. Because if you're going to go out, take the opportunity to go eat somewhere. And you're talking about it being a $200, expense, $300 expense. So it's getting older means expenses go up. So can I scrap one shirt to get the Prime for free? Sadly, Jerry, you cannot. But check back in about 3 or 4 years, and maybe we'll make that. Maybe that'll be a thing, just like Star Trek Fleet Command. Not sure if it was mentioned, but someone said Shakedown Crew is paywalled, but is also in the Elite Fed recruit pools. Well, Frail, if you remember, we don't support those Elite pools because they're terrible. They are very much a waste of your faction credits. But there's still a couple missing from that even then. I'm pretty sure the Elite crew does not include all the Shakedown. It includes, they've got Hindorf and Leslie, but you still don't have some of the others. But yeah, Leslie's in here. I still never recommend this though. 1, because it's oversaturated with crap that's already in other places. And 2, the faction credit to officer return rate is stupid. So I never pay for those. If an event gives them to me, fine. I'll make a pull because the event gave it. But I never encourage people to use their faction credit. Faction credits are too precious to put into that. How do you get the strike team officers? Currently, the only way to get strike team officers is through event stores when Incursions runs. Incursions is not currently running, or if they make special events during months like leaderboards and event stores. That's the only current sourcing for strike team. And exactly as Chelsea said, Darwin and Hadley are missing. Chelsea. We have to get Chelsea in here too. Chelsea has some knowledge too. Look at Chelsea. Chelsea's gonna be another our next Hugo. Next Hugo. Love it. Web store daily pull for Stranger World Ultra. Stranger World Una. Remember, you do have the Mission Key Hunter event going on right now, everybody. If you have not been pulling, get to pulling. Go pull your mission key. I actually think I need to go do that right now. So what I'll do is I'll put it on the screen so that y'all can see how to do it if y'all don't remember. All right, let's see. Here's the new store. Let me make sure I'm signed in first. If y'all don't remember how to do this, I'm going to show you how to do it. So you're going to have a Scopely ID. Log into the web store. Login is at the top right. So here's my mouse up here at the top right. You're going to log in and you're going to go to the store tab, which is right here. Now here's your store tab. You're going to scroll down. Scroll. There's actually a little button you can click that says web gifts, but just scroll down past all the packs you could buy. And in the web gift section, daily mission key drop. Every single day you can click this button. It'll give you one officer shard of a group that is currently available. This is only available through the PC store. This also is applying to certain missions that they have going on right now. So you see that? I'm going to click the button, but I'm going to transfer over here so that you can see what happens when I click the button. So back out, and then I'm going to click the button now, StarTrekFleetCommand.com. Bam. That gives me my key in game. Collect. Go to my officers tab, recruit, and then here's my mission key. Here are the various officers you can get, which is a fantastic set of officers. And honestly, look, you might say, hey, 365 officers in a year is not really that big of a deal. For 365 officer shards, I'll take anything for free I can get. All you gotta do is remember to log into the web store every day. And bam, actually, I just got Stranger World Una, because this is like the only way to source her. So there you go. I actually got Stranger World Una. There you go. So that's how to do it if you are unfamiliar with the process beforehand. There you go. That's how you go and do that. So, when Torres is going to be for sale? Chris, I'm not actually sure. I think Torres is a good officer. Again, I think that she needs to be tier 4, tier 5. But I don't know when they're going to put out the actual sale pack for her. If you like, I can reach out to good overlords and ask. But is the doctor worth it? Oh, we talked about it all throughout the beginning of the stream, Pegasus. Honestly, it depends on what future sourcing looks like and what your individual leaderboard is. My individual leaderboard for the doctor is insane right now, so definitely not worth it to me. Also, crap, I forgot to turn on my ticket events. I need to do that. I need to do that. I have a lot of extra tickets laying around, so I need to do that. All right. Whoops. Whoopsies. My doctor thing is like 55 million with a day to go for complete unlock. Definitely not worth it for me. But he is good. Like, he has a purpose. I haven't got to test him to make sure he works how I believe he works, which is exactly how 5 of 11 works. But is he good? Yes. Am I as excited as DJ was about it? No, but I do think he's good. As a below deck officer, really good. Has potential to be great, honestly, as a below deck officer, as you tier him up. But we have no idea what the sourcing for him is long term. So that brings up a lot of questions. Can we get them feedback that having to join the Apex event is dumb? I mean, I can't. Well, Christopher, there's a purpose for that. The reason it's set to manual is for the people who have already unlocked all the skins available, have a choice. And now some people can do it as a troll, but the reason it's there is so that not everybody is continually in the leaderboard, meaning you never have a chance to win it. So if somebody unlocks the assimilated Stella skin, they've already done all the other skins, they've unlocked everything that can be unlocked with that special token, then they don't participate anymore. Now, the argument I know people are going to make is, well, the game should read that they have all said skins and takes them out automatically. Whatever. But in terms of how it is set up, it's so that you have to manually make the choice. Sure, there could be a troll out there that decides they want to win it for the hell of winning it, but it prevents people from being overloaded in a leaderboard that some people will naturally score on, even if they no longer care about the currency. And there will be plenty of people who say, hey, I've got the skin, I don't care, and won't hit enter, giving you a better chance of entering. Yes, it is annoying that you have to then go manually do it, but it's for the betterment of your game. Like, that's the plan behind it. Just as the jelly event disappears if you have it. It does, but the jelly event is one thing. Like, the jelly event is recognizing that you have the ship. The difference with the Apex thing is you can use that currency for several different items. It's not just recognizing one thing in the game. Like, I can go in there and then I've got these skins. I got what, 5 skins, and then ships. Like, there's like 8 items that the game would need to recognize that I have to say, okay, don't do this. Well, how many times have you heard content creators tell you don't waste investment in hijacks? So if we're doing it based on that logic, how many people have not gotten the hijacks, meaning they would always be in the Apex no matter what? So I get the logic, but I also think it's different because the jellyfish simply recognizes that you have a jellyfish. This has 8 different items that you are asked to recognize, including items that most people consider having no value in the game. So a lot of people will never get them. So by that logic, then they would always be in your event. And I think that's a problem. So I am okay with the join now. And I do understand the frustration because there are trolls on the servers out there who will always join the event to prevent other people from winning. And I get that. But I think for the greater whole, this is the better method for everybody. But yeah, that's just personal take. And if you ask me, is it technically possible to make all these ideas work in terms of like reading all individual items, etc.? Sure, it is technically possible, but man hours. So when does the assimilated Stella skin and the skin for the epics appear in the Apex event store? The Stella skin, I think, is level 39. The assimilated one, 39, 38. Somebody in chat confirm. If you're in the 40s, you definitely see it. But I think it's 39 is the assimilated skin, maybe 38, something like that. The salvage skins are going to be there as soon as you're in the the mid 30s because of Enterprise, Augur, etc. Have a Kelvin in the event store. We have no Jemadar skin. Yeah, because that's not a salvage skin. The Jemadar skin is a premium paid skin that it even does a completely different role. Some of the Stella you can get from the Apex event store as soon as you have a tier 9 Stella. Okay, so it's tied directly to the tier 9 because I've not seen anybody see it at like in the 20s. But if you can see it as soon as you've done a tier 9 Stella, then there you go. Then you can see it forever. I don't remember because I don't have the chart pulled up. Are you doing a Delta adversary event walkthrough? I wasn't planning on doing a whole video unless y'all think I need to do a whole video, Sith. It's pretty easy in terms of if you understand the format, how it works. It takes you to hunt around, but I don't think I could make like a full YouTube video about it. But for example, what you're trying to do is take a look at this star chart. It's an incomplete star chart and find where this is in the game. And you're looking for clues. Like this system right here is a Federation system called Laney. And the hint is mostly how close these two are together with the 2 hubs right next to it. So if you come out into space, it is right here. See that hub with the long finger right there? Right here. Leonard Mar is giving TPs. I mean, I can verify again. I can verify here. But as of last week, still giving TPs. It just doesn't, like if you finish the event, it doesn't show that you're getting transporter patterns. It shows Mara. But if you track your transporter patterns, it works. What I was thinking about doing is making just like a little quick 1-minute video explaining that, putting it on like Facebook. But that's the logic. You're taking the star chart and then trying to find where it is in space, which I think is really cool. The 3 systems, there's 6 total. There's 6 total systems. 25 and below, or I'm sorry, 24 and below have 3. 25 and above have 3. If you're 25 and above, it's Laney, Ferenginar, and Nazturta, which is a Romulan system. The ones that are below, I would have to go look them up again. Maybe shorts. I'm not doing YouTube shorts. YouTube shorts really, really hurt my channel. YouTube shorts really, really hurt my channel, so I'm not doing YouTube shorts. Star charts need rotating as well. One of them does. The Ferenginar one does. The Laney one doesn't. You don't have to rotate the Laney one. It's correct. The orientation is correct in the picture. The Ferenginar one is upside down, I think. Click. Crap, what was it doing? Oh, so real quick, let me register where I'm at with transporter patterns. Make sure. I am at 27, or let's see. Bring out my calculator. 274, 400. And we'll do a quick track. I'm so funny. No, I'm not. I'm not funny at all. I'm just a poor boy. All right, so I've not finished either of these. So we'll test it out. Man, have I turned these on? Nope. Gotta turn these on. Gotta turn these on. When will we get Jar Jar Binks? My favorite Ferengi. Wow. Atomic. Confirmed next week. Yep. Confirmed next week. Anybody else have a beard and just can't help playing with it? That's me. That's me. Can't help myself. All right. The circle around the star system shows the rotation of the star chart. I haven't noticed that point. Let me look at it. Looks the same to me. All right, the circle doesn't look any different. Sorry, I'm trying to check that comment. Numbers and squiggles on the outside. Oh, you can read that? You can read that? Call me an old man. I didn't even notice those were numbers. How did you see that? Like, I'm on my PC screen. All right, I gotta make this bigger. I can't read that. Some of y'all got like 1,020,000 vision, or whatever the reverse of good vision for that is. All right, so kudos to you for spotting that. I can't see that at all. What? All right, y'all got some insanely good vision then. Y'all got some insanely good vision. Like, kudos to all of you. Whatever it is that makes you able to see that. You actually might be a Borg. That's insane. But good note. I honestly didn't know that. That's a good note. But holy crap. Wow. Holy crap. Wow. Woof. That's insane. That's Sam says it's not a thing. Apparently multiple people says it's a thing. I'll take the resolution. Seems higher on the phone apps. Our resolution's way higher on PC. But hey, let's check our graphic settings. I mean, this does get reset all the damn time. I'm not gonna reboot, but yeah, I mean, I would put up my phone, but I don't want to kick myself out the game. Like, I can see that there is a smaller digit up here. Like, I can see that. And I guess if I'm like matching, I can see it right here. But yeah, I would have never have known that. I would have never have known that. So kudos to all of y'all. Were they going to do an event like the Bedard Talios, because I have blueprints, but I don't have all the Jeffrey? I'm not sure what you're asking. You didn't complete your sentence there. That's how I was the first to find them on my server. I took a picture of it on my phone so I could look while searching on my PC and notice the 0 to show the map. Hey, awesome. Hey, look, tough. Kudos to you, man. Kudos to you. I would have never thought about that. Kudos to you. Awesome. Hey Thomas, how you doing, man? Good to see you. Welcome in, by the way. If y'all would just come in the middle of the show, welcome in. We've been having some fun. When we get the next star map puzzle, I think it's on the calendar. Speaking of calendars, let me pull it up for you. Boop. Here's the calendar for the month put together. This one was put together by, let's see, where's the, I want to make sure I give credit. I think it was Viper. I think Viper puts this one together. We've got a couple people that make these. But, so we are, let me go ahead and, whoop, wrong one. Gonna make this a little bit bigger right here. All right, so we are currently on May 14th, right here. And field testing. Well, next week. Looks like that's the next one running. I mean, and the timer on it's pretty long. So, looks like next week. That calendar, for anybody ask, yes, it is in my Discord. For anybody ask, the calendar is in the Discord. I believe it's already in STFC General, but I'll pin it there. If nobody's pinned it yet, I'll go pin it. I'll actually do that right now so that nobody asks. Y'all can do ! Discord. If you've not joined my Discord, come join it. We have useful stuff there. But I have now pinned it in the STFC General channel of my Discord. There you go. Post chart for the rewards for formation models in your Discord. I checked under the pin in the main. What do you mean post the chart for the rewards? You mean just post what the systems are? Prime charge Nano Pro worth $100 and why? I can't tell you if your $100 is worth it. I can tell you how it works. Makes it cheaper to progress through that research tree. Is that valuable to you? Is that valuable to you? I don't like to tell people how to spend their money. It speeds up the progress for you flying through one of the most important research trees currently in the game. Dude, I'm actually thinking about the X-Borg one. You're talking about the Nano Probe one. The Nano Probe one is actually still good because you're progressing through your Borg rotation. So yes, because things like the Talios are a pain in the butt to level through. Have I bought it? No. But is it valuable in the game? You will notice a difference. I'll put it that way. You will notice a difference. The one from your video on it where you get certain artifacts from certain level armadas. That's in the Armada channel. It's in the Armada channel. Yeah, it's pinned in the Armada channel, Ryan. Prime Nano Charge has long-term benefits. There. Yeah. Agreed. The worth is, it's so relative because a lot of people are very picky because I don't know, Jesse, how you spend, right? And I'm not here to tell you how to spend or to increase or decrease your spending. Only you know what you're comfortable with. Some people are only comfortable with like a $100 pack once a year. With that in mind, that wouldn't be the $100 pack I did once a year. But does it have value and does it help your game, especially long term? It does. It really will affect your game in a positive way. Is it the most important $100 purchase you can make? No. But there are some $100 purchases that are worthless in this game, and that is not a worthless one. All right, so there we go. There's our first run. I was at 2,700 or 274,400. Con should be 2,000, and then Mara should be, what's 5 times 75? Because my brain's bad. 375, right? So let's go back over here. Click a button. I am now at 276,800, which is correct. So I got transporter patterns for both Khan and Mara. I know y'all can't see it because my donation link is up, but I can show you on my calculator. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. Anyway, I was at 274,400. I'm now at 276,800, which means I got transporter patterns for both officers. But again, it doesn't show transporter patterns when you hit collect. It just shows the officer. But you are getting transporter patterns for both. I think it's in this one. And we can test it again if you want to actually see the visual for yourself. Was it under other? Yeah, right here. Now I'm at 276.8. So, confirmed. You do get transporter patterns for Mara and Khan on Swarm Sunday. There's your proof again. If y'all want to do this test again, I will probably finish this by at the end. You'll see me pull it a second time. I got to kill, what, 75 of these now? I'm halfway there. Sis says, yay, it's fixed. Well, it was never broken. It's always done that. It was never not working. It's always giving you transporter patterns. Zeron says Prime Survival is amazing. Same with Hull and Shield Prime. Well, here's the thing, Zeron. Prime Survival is getting less and less valuable by the day. The reason I say that is my mess hall is already better than Prime Survival. I mean, it still helps. Every bit helps. But it's not as valuable as when it came out. Yeah, Sith, there was another content creator that said that that was broken, and that started like a really bad rumor across Star Trek Fleet Command, but it works. There's proof. I'll prove it again. It works exactly how it's supposed to. It just doesn't display that on the screen. It just shows you Khan and Mara. But it works. But I will complete it again to see. And again, I'm not trying to like shame anybody with it. I just want everybody to have factual information about the game. And the only reason I still do Swarm Sunday is for transporter patterns, because I'm going to get like what, 5,000, which is not an insane amount, but things add up. I'm streaming with y'all anyway. We're doing content together. I might as well do my Swarm Sunday while I'm here. So Hugo says officer stats keep increasing. A friend already has 1,200% at Ops 50 plus. Yeah, it's pretty wild. The trit. I mean, yes, technically Sith, but keep in mind that the trit ain't crap for me. Like these, because these payouts have not been updated in a long time. This event is one of the ones that we've been bugging them to update. Open. Dude, 3 million tritanium is nothing for me. It could be something for you. My pylum costs 110 million tritanium to repair. So I'm not doing it for the tri. I'm not even really doing it for the uncommons. I'll take whatever uncommons I can get. But the payouts are pretty terrible. I'm doing it for the transporter patterns and to show y'all. But like, I honestly can't even say that it adds up, Sith, because it really doesn't add up. 12 million more tritanium in a month does not move a needle for me. What moves the needle for me though? These researches through Xboard, this moves a needle. This is very valuable. This moves a damn needle. That doesn't move anything. So that's why we're trying to get them to update that event. You know, I don't care for the amount of work that I have to do, which is hearing stream. It takes me 30, 45 minutes of doing this. The rewards are not worth it. Not worth it. Yeah, at Ops 39, 3 mil trit is 1 repair for the Manus. That's definitely not worth it for 45 minutes of work. You know. How those new Armadas come along? I'm liking them. I like the new Armadas. Probably going to wait for another event, save up directives, but I like the new Armada. The game of nickels and dimes, they add up. Chris, I promise you, you get to my level and you get higher, it's not adding up anymore because your time's not worth it. I would be far better. Give you a comparison. Look at the ticket events. Because the ticket events have been updated and scaled. Oh, was it this one? Yeah. This matters. And this takes me the same amount of time to do. Look at this. Look at the difference in payout. Like, this is worth doing. This is worth investing in. This is worth making happen. Like in the 30s, you feel like, oh, Swarm Sunday is still kind of okay. I promise you get in the mid 40s at the latest, it has no value besides transport patterns. None at all. I know so many people, especially 50 plus, that don't do Swarm Sunday. They ignore it. It has no purpose to them. I honestly don't even need to do it, but I still do it because I'm Rev and I do things. So, Battle Elite need better sourcing for the new directives, though. 1 a week, not enough. Agreed, Major. Agreed. 15 a day for the new Armadas is not enough. It is definitely not enough. Ignoring it since 34? Yeah, and I get it, Matt. After you've maxed out Con, it really loses its need to be done every week. Now, before maxing out Con, you definitely want to do it. But once you've maxed out Con, you don't need it anymore. I do it. It's an optional thing that I do. And today I'm doing it to prove to y'all that transporter patterns happen. So, and here we go. So there's the display. Let's go check. 2792. All right, let's do some math. 279,200 minus 276,800 is 2,400. Boop. It works. It works. They could update it by adding Jayla shards to it and giving 3 times the bonus for killing stuff with Frank Lake. But look, I know we want to source Jayla. Jayla's not even really important anymore in today's game. She's okay. I want more uncommons and Tritanium. I want more uncommons and Tritanium. So. They update Swarm Sunday, Independent Crest would be a solid ad. I mean, they are updating Swarm Sunday. We'll just have to wait and see what that update looks like. But they are updating Swarm Sunday. If y'all remember when we talked about the Apex update, I talked about that as well. That wasn't the only event that was going through an update process. Os49 usually do Swarm Sunday, but I use a speed crew on a tally to just knock it out super fast. That said, it's totally skippable. Yeah, so it really just depends on how like hyper fixated you are on getting as many transporter patterns as possible. Because I'm sitting at like what, almost 300,000, and that's kind of a low amount for transporter patterns, but it's whatever. I mean, I have enough transporter patterns to finish maxing out 6 of 11 right now if I wanted to. I don't believe I have the independent credits to do it, so I'm not going to bother. But it just depends on how much you need TP, and it's always good to get more transporter patterns. Never a bad time to get transporter patterns. When do those open up? You get transporter patterns after you've maxed out your first rare or epic. So as soon as you get a rare or epic maxed, regardless of if you leveled them to max, you'll get TP. So like some of the earliest ones people will max are like the miners. Capring, Ston, Barrett. Sometimes those are some of the first ones. And where's my Ston? Because I don't have my Ston. Honestly, I can show you with Mara. We just do it by group. So you saw, oh, I've actually have maxed out Mara. Let's see, Ston maybe? Yeah, so like I haven't done the last 5 levels of Ston, but I still get transporter patterns, and you don't actually even have to tier them up. As long as you have the maximum number of shards, you will get transporter patterns from rares and epics. You just have to max out an officer in terms of the number of shards they take. So, what's your opinion of the Prime Augment Favor and Prime Cell Efficiency? Prime Cell Efficiency is a must-have. Prime Augment Favor is Prime Cell Efficiency is a must-have, and you get Prime Cell Efficiency for free through scrapping. You notice the new Herodian hostiles have a chance to give you loot boxes with partial titanium and lithium? Yeah. Yep. That was the plan when they were designed. They have better loot drops, and they also have slightly higher ship parts. The drawback is, obviously, they're not a faction hostile. So. I wish I had a building to turn on. I'm still debating on upping my Defiant here for this SMS or just completely saving for the end of the month. Because I got 2 parts sitting here. That's 5,000 crystal. So that's 6,000 and just say 12,000. About 13,000. Obviously I can't tear it up because I'm stuck at a level lock here. So maybe just save this for another LB later in the month. But it's really going to depend on how much people are going after the doctor, because there are a lot of people who really want the doctor because of the below deck ability. And if this is an indication, even the last leaderboard of the month isn't going to be doable for me. I'm not going to have a shot. So then it really won't matter. And I don't want to wait forever, you know. When are you releasing the next Prime Efficiency shirt? Mike, do you want another Prime Efficiency shirt? Do I need 2 Prime Efficiency shirts? What a question. We've only got like, what, 2 or 3 people in the world who've got this one. I mean, if you want it, it's here, buddy. Prime Efficiency is your charisma right now. Go for it. Here you go. We've got our Booty Hunter collection, which is built around the idea of OPC hunting in the game and also me shaking my tail feather. And then I haven't showed this to YouTube yet, but these are actually the newest set that I've come out with that I love. We have a flag and a hoodie, but this is the Live Long and Plunder. If you can't tell, I like being a pirate in Star Trek Fleet Command. But when can we get Revenue's official condoms? Those don't exist. Those don't exist. But the Live Long and Plunder is one of my favorite designs I've ever done. I've even got a pirate flag that I'll be getting and putting on my back wall. Live Long and Plunder. Yeah, Mike, I know. I mean, if you want me to design another Rev Prime shirt, you don't have to tell me twice. Anybody that says they're willing to buy a $100 t-shirt, I will design it. But this is the Live Long and Plunder design. And I'm waiting on my hoodie to come in. But the hoodie on one arm says Live Long and then Plunder on the other, and then just, you know, the logo, the pirate logo in the middle. So yeah, that's some of the new stuff. And then honestly, like in terms of, I'm actually getting one of these just to use. I need a new mouse pad, and I think it looks dope. So Live Long and Plunder. Anyway, if you want to support the channel, we've got merch. And it's a great way for you to support and get something for supporting. It's optional, but it's appreciated. You need Rev Prime shirts that have 5 upgrade levels at $100 each and adds a new patch. Sadly, that's not something that I can do on my merch store, but that's a really cool idea. Really cool idea. How big does that hoodie get? The hoodie goes to 5X. Let's see. Yeah, 5XL is the largest size you can get of most of my merch. I try to do merch that scales pretty high. So I think almost every t-shirt I have, and every t-shirt definitely goes to at least 3X, and every hoodie I think goes to 5. I do have some t-shirts that also go to 5X. Everything ships to Europe, UK, Canada, US. So the company I use, Ryan, actually has distribution centers and printing centers in the UK. So it's not even something that has to be printed here where I'm at and then shipped to you. It actually gets sent to a printer in the UK to print. So like if you order it from my merch store, you're actually going to get it pretty, quickly, because it's actually going to be printing in your country. Now that doesn't work for every country in the world. Tall sizes, don't have any specifically tall, just like XL. I know that's not, because I know there's like a XLT, which would be extra large and tall, but just XL sizes. Like in the Booty Hunter cat, yeah, I'm actually rocking one of them. Look, y'all know for a long time, I told you I don't rock these type of hats. Like I don't use these. Ones with bent brims and everything, but this acid, and we'll get real big here. So warning, you're about to see a lot of beard. A lot of beard. But I usually don't rock dad hats, you know, like the standard bent brim and everything. But this acid wash dad hat with Booty Hunter, I just really love the design, so I picked it up. But yeah, this is yeah. Do you ship to South America? Yeah. Again, I'm not doing the shipping. It's because it doesn't come to me and I ship to you. This is through a print-on-demand company called Fourth Wall. I can verify it if you want. You can send me what country you're from and we can make sure, but they ship all over the place. Let me see. Let me see if I can get a list of the countries real quick. Because it says worldwide shipping. Obviously, it's going to be relative, but... So, the printing centers are in the US, UK, Europe, and Australia. And they work with UPS, DHL, USPS. So, it should ship globally, wherever you're at. Should ship globally. I can talk to one of my reps specifically, if you would like, Sebastian. And I can ask to make sure, like if you're in, you know, Argentina, Brazil, whatever. North Korea's not on that list. Yes. Okay. Right. Very unlikely you'll ever see a Rev Deuce shirt in North Korea. You got me. I've been got. I've been bamboozled. But yeah. Let me ask real quick, Sebastian. Let me see if I've got one of the reps on real quick. Support. I know the site says worldwide, but I have one of my followers from Tina who wants to verify that you can ship their country. Thanks. Hope to hear from you soon. All right. So all I'm going to ask for you, Sebastian, is just please message me like on Facebook or Discord so I can follow up with you, because the stream's not going to last forever. But I'll find out. Wanu hate Archer. First to encounter board. Who hates Archer? Scooby, who hates Archer? Where did you get this? Why did you? Who hates Archer? Where do you see I hate Archer? Does my Starbase have a banner on it that says I hate Archer? Where did that come from? I've been blindsided by an opinion I didn't render. Who said that? Who said that? I didn't. Where did that come from? I've been accused of a crime I didn't commit. Anyway. I didn't say that. I'm crying. I'm curious what these will be. Am I curious what those are going to be? Yeah, I got to take this level up. More hull health. Yay. What a guilty person would say. You got me again. Always hating on Enterprise? Oh, okay. Is it hate? All right. Legitimate question, Scooby. Is it hating that, one, I don't personally enjoy Enterprise as much as other Star Trek, and two, it's literally the worst rated Star Trek of all time? Is that hating? That's just me saying my personal opinion and stating a fact. I'm not saying Archer's awful. That's not the same thing. Actually, if you remember earlier in the show, I said my favorite Doctor in all of Star Trek is probably Phlox. I love the Phlox character. He is super interesting. But is it wrong to just say a fact that, generally speaking, almost everybody puts Enterprise at the bottom? It's rated as the worst Star Trek of all time. It's still Star Trek. I still watch it. But I've actually, in terms of not new series, Star Trek is the most recent not new series I've watched. I actually rewatched Star Trek about 2 months ago. I mean, rewatched Enterprise about 2 months ago. And I struggled to get through seasons 2 and 3. As always, I really, really struggle with seasons 2 and 3. Season 4, fantastic. But I struggle with 2 and 3. I don't like the overall plot of 2 and 3. Still watch it. I still enjoy it. And season 4, man, like season 4 of Enterprise makes you go, oh my God, this could be so good. Like it's right there. It's right there. And the plans for season 5 were going to be, in theory, amazing. But yeah. Bearsman says Enterprise is better than Voyager. I just watched all over again. I like it. Yeah, it's fine. Look, I have no problem with anybody's personal ranking. In what possible sense could Enterprise be worse than Discovery? In every sense. Like, when people say Discovery is bad, most of those people have really only watched the first season. Like, and let's just be, if we want to take personal opinion out of it, look at the actual rankings, not only on like IMDb and Rotten Tomato, but like actual fan rankings. Discovery does not rank low. Discovery ranks somewhere like in the bottom tier to middle. I just... I'll tell you this. There's a big age gap in Discovery fans and old school Trek fans. Discovery has brought more people to Star Trek than any show in the past 20 or 30 years. Like, it's okay to dislike a Star Trek. It is. Like, I don't like season 2 and season 3 of Enterprise. I really don't. I don't like most of Voyager because I believe these stories are so bad. Like, the writing is just really poor. I also really hated Berman, who came in and took over Star Trek in the mid and late 90s. In my opinion, ran it into the ground. But that's not the fault of the actors. That's not the fault of a lot of the characters. That bad writing was due to bad man in charge. But if you want to look at things like just realistically, Paramount Plus as an entity is struggling. One of the only things that's profitable on Paramount Plus is the Star Trek franchise. And Discovery has been hella profitable. Now, they're wrapping it up because they're finding for Star Trek that shorter little runs of shows and then doing multiple like angles. Like we're dumping Disco, we're dumping Picard, or we're doing Prodigy, we're doing Lower Decks, we're going into Starfleet Academy, etc. is capturing more people. But New Trek has brought in... I don't think a lot of people who are old Trek fans realize how many new Star Trek fans there are because of the new shows. And it is wildly popular. So, Discovery is woke. Guess what, Mark? All of Star Trek is woke. Welcome to the literal purpose of Star Trek. I understand Rev stance on season 2 or 3 of Enterprise would have been the start of the prelude of the Romulan. Yeah, see, season 5 of Enterprise was supposed to start the Romulan Earth War. And I think that would have been fantastic TV. I think that would have been fantastic TV. Sadly, it never happened. But I'm not a fan of the Temporal Cold War. I'm not a fan of the overall Xindi arc. I did love the Enterprise interactions with the Klingons. I love the Enterprise interactions with the Vulcans, with the Andorians, even the limited interactions with the Romulans. I even was okay with the Borg part of Enterprise. But I really disliked the overall Temporal Cold War, Suliban, Xindi story. Really disliked it, and I think that hurt it. And hell, I'll even give you this one. In my opinion, this is tough because there's some really good ones. But the Mirror Universe episode at the end of Enterprise is arguably the best Mirror Universe episode ever. Arguably. If you haven't watched Discovery, one thing Discovery did do well was their Mirror Universe. If you've not watched it, if you haven't, look, it's completely okay. Season 1 of Discovery is not great. Star Trek was relaunching. They had problems with the writers. It wasn't great. But if you watch some of the stuff that comes after, there's some really good storylines. And the Mirror Universe of Discovery was really good. And Enterprise, even though I will sit here and say that I don't like a lot of Enterprise, the Mirror Universe of Enterprise is so good, and it is so fun to watch. There's some great Trek out there, even for Treks you may not like. So, Mirror Universe needs its own show. Well, if you remember, there's actual multiple Mirror Universes. So it's not all one Mirror Universe. There's actually 4 offshoot timelines in Star Trek canon. So, I would like to ask something about fleet commanders with cargo cap bonus. Are those values simply added to the overall cargo, or they multiply? They just add to everything else you got, Gregory. Just add everything else you got. So just adding research on top of research. So 50 plus 70 is 120. Why is every show primarily Federation based? Honestly, you'd have to ask Viacom and CBS. I'm going to assume the short answer is they feel that that's the best way to get the money. Now, hold on. If you look, Star Trek, New Trek, has multiple shows that are not Federation based. Now, they do include primarily Federation like tech and characters. Prodigy is not a Federation based show. Picard was not a Federation based show. Picard, and I'm not going to give y'all full spoilers, but even though Picard, obviously the TNG cast is like Pinnacle Federation, they were operating outside the Federation the entire damn show. So they have started to segue a little bit away from just pure, we're the Federation, we're the Federation, we're the Federation every single series. Not completely, but they have at least pivoted a little. Hopefully that gives us more Star Trek with the Klingons, with the Romulans, with the Cardassians. I would love that. I guess you made a video on how to start armadas, but what level should you be able to do these? To start them, Turtle, is level 23 is when you can start them, because that's when you can build the ACC, which is this building right here. You can do them whatever level. You can. There's no level requirement to attend them. The only thing that is required is the warp range. So if you are a level 15 player, you can do an early armada if you have the range. But to get the building, that starts at level 23. And you need the Armada Tactical Cores to build it. You get the Armada Tactical Cores by doing your Armada turn-ins in your store. So like here's the Armada right here. You have to either run Armadas with somebody else to get these or buy the Armada Tactical Cores to build your ACC. But those are the two paths to get it going. Also a bit cheaper to have more human than aliens with makeup and effects. Probably, Philip. But I think in the world of like crazy CGI that we have now and all that, I think that's becoming less of an issue. But I'm sure in terms of like pure budget and storytelling reasons, that's exactly why there's been limits in the past. Wait, did I just tear up Cisco? Did I just tear up Cisco? Was that my tear up? Damn it, I'm 3 away. So close. So close. 3 away. I almost got really excited for a second. Almost got really excited. You just made level 23. Well, congrats, Turtle. That's awesome. Congrats. Congrats. Any recommendations on ships for the formation armadas? George actually just put out a video yesterday? No, Friday on formation armadas. Just put out a video. Cisco and O'Brien are two of my favorite officers in the past year. Oh, for sure. Dude, Pseudo, my O'Brien, like I'm getting excited about my Cisco. Did you see my O'Brien? Did you see my O'Brien? Like, let me just brag a little bit real quick. Cisco, almost tier 3. Very excited. O'Brien, 8 shards from max. Woo! Oh, man. I keep in mind that I'm an Armada lover. So, this, so good. This is arguably, like, if you talk about what is the best Armada officer in the game, this is number 2. Number 1 is 6 of 11. In terms of by themselves, pure best Armada officer. This is number 2. 6 of 11, then Miles O'Brien are the top 2 individual Armada officers in the game. So good. So good. Especially, because remember, this is relative to your ship you're on, but in terms of increasing the shots, when you have, I'm telling you, you got some of these ships that have multiple weapons. Ooh, bam, 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 bam. Love it. It's so good. It's so good. It's so good. For the downside of 6 not being that great for Borg solos, this is true. 6 of 11 is not great against Borg solos. That's one drawback, and I will give that to you. But I still would say 6 of 11 is, in general, the most important Armada officer in the game. But that's also because, as you're well aware of Pseudo is one of our other math nerds. Pseudo is a nerd. Hey, nerd. Pseudo is a fellow nerd, I guess. I can't say he's a nerd and I'm not. But 6 of 11 is so unique in how he works. So Not sure if this has been covered, but every so often when I'm fighting higher level Borg, one will hit like 10 times harder than the rest. Any idea why? Gethsemane, look at the rounds happening. What I'm assuming is probably happening is every now and then you're getting to round 10. In round 10, those Borgs kick the ever-loving crap out of you. Like in round 10, they hit ridiculously hard. You don't want to get to round 10 with a Borg probe. Any Borg probe. But if you get to round 10, it's like having Muhammad Ali punch you in the stomach. It hurts. Kills you maybe. Bad. You might not survive. So that's probably what you're seeing. For whatever RNG reason, whatever your crew setup is, whatever the damage you create, you're probably hitting round 10. So Hugo says, don't underestimate 6 of 11 with enough research and a ton of attack. He can even crack board defenses, but you need a lot. Most ships don't have the slots. That's true. Hugo, I'll be honest. I can't make 6 of 11 effective against Borg solos unless I use the Enterprise and I punch down. But you could, in theory, make that work. Yes, you are right. But just going to pile them then against solos? I mean, I do on my solos. I've got most of my crew pulled up. So my Pylum crew is 5-6 con. And then over here, usually I'll run the Katinga, Cisco, Miles, Lorca. And then over here, for Dominion solos, this is what I would run on the Defiant. Now, what will change if I do end up getting like a tier 4, tier 5 B'Elanna Torres, Lorca will go away. I'll full synergize this with Changeling Kira. And I got to sneeze. Wrong button, sorry. Oh, I meant to do the mute button. Instead, I cussed. Oh, sorry. That was a big sneeze. My bad. My bad. Apologies. Didn't mean to press that button. I've got 2 buttons. I've got that button, and I've also got... And I pressed the wrong button. So. Whoopsies. I'm such a good content creator. Aren't y'all so excited how good I am at this? Am I not amazing? I'll do everything I can to max B'Elanna. Well, that's the thing, Pseudo. Like, we don't know how that works. If you can max B'Elanna, she's so valuable. And God, I believe Scopely knows that. So ain't a chance in hell you're going to do it soon. Ain't a chance in hell you're going to do it soon. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So I can hope too, Pseudo. But it's like Meemaw used to always tell me. Hope in one hand. In the other. See which one fills up first. Since we're using buttons. That's what Meemaw used to always say. Hope in one hand. Shit in the other. Damn, I didn't even beat myself. Cancel me. Just cancel me. Yeah, there you go. Is Max Merrick still good with the release of Mess Hall? Why would Merrick not be good with the release of Mess Hall? I mean, 500% is still 500%. Yeah. Now, I guess if you're like one of these players, like if you're this player, sure. Not really good. Not really good. Not really good. I mean, because if you're just worried about the pure weapons damage bonus, sure. Which it's not even possible to have a level 99, even for a high spender. This isn't even possible yet. Sure. But, yeah, it's still valuable. Don't know if that watered it down. I mean, technically, but also this helps. So even though this might be watering it down, this is helping her. So I don't think she's really taking a net negative there. Probably a net neutral. I'll be honest. I'm looking at it and theorizing. I'm not mathing it out. Sure, if somebody has like a maxed mess hall, which isn't even possible, yeah, definitely a little bit diminished effect there, but still viable. This is very niche. Are we live? We're not. This is not live. I don't do live content. I only do pre-recorded stuff, and then I actually time my responses and my pre-recorded material to tell people we're live. I lie to everybody. That's what I do. I like lying. It's fun. It's fun. Yeah. So, thank you, Nightbot, for dropping the donate links. Appreciate it. Do you know if Scopely is going to do any Vidar BP sales in the event store or somewhere other than Cosmic Cleanup? Nope. But I mean, event stores, it's always in an event store. But I don't know of anything special happening with the Vidar. Keep up the lying? Turtle, you don't have to tell me twice. Delta data. So James, I haven't made a video about it. If y'all really think I need to, I'll make a video today to explain how to do it. I was going to just make like a short video on YouTube or something, but if y'all want me to make like a full-on video, I'll explain how it works and I'll give the answers for both 25 plus and 24 and below players. But I'll explain the process because you will need to also know it in a week from now if you really want me to make a video. Rev is an AI chatbot. This is real. Yeah, it's true. We've actually worked really hard on my coding so that you can see me aging and my beard getting older. It's the same technology that they use to create data. So positronic brain and everything right here. Right here. Followers are waiting on me. Oh, thank you. Up to you. Would be good though. Thanks. All right, James. If you want me to, I will do it. I will do it. Hello, Mark. Good evening from the UK. Hope you're doing well. Good. You got beard left. I watched the clip with no beard. Keep it up. See, I'm so torn. Like, I feel like I look 45 years old. But at the same time, I've never had a beard this long, and I'm curious what it looks like. So, quick poll for the, 400 men and ladies in the chat. Yes or no on the beard? Yes or no on the beard? If you make the video, definitely grab the high-res screenshots. Sam, somebody send me high-res screenshots. Somebody send me high-res screenshots. I want to show that to you because I want to give credit to somebody being crazy. You look more grown-up with it? See, that's a negative for me. I want to look like a child. Gamer says big yes. Pseudo says yes on the beard. Cab J says yes. Jennifer says yes. Poker says, oh, that's a lot of yeses. Mark says they prefer it shorter. Well, Mark is clearly a communist. Grow it until you want to shave it off. Well, see, that's the tricky part because, like, I equally want to shave it off right now and also have it down to, like, my belly button. So, keep it not white. Thankfully, I don't have that problem yet. Thankfully, I don't have that problem. Mark is a communist. Mark, you better be used to jokes here because if you're not, you're going to get very offended very quickly. Look here, Gregory, stop giving away my content. If they want me to make a video, I'm making a damn video. Damn it, Gregory. Keep the beard, fear the beard. Yeah. Look like a Viking. Oh, cool. Here, I don't usually do this on YouTube, but I'll show you what makes me look like a Viking. You know what makes me look like a Viking? 1, I'll lower the octave of my voice, and 2, my authentic horn drinking thing. What's it called? It's not a stein. But anyway, I can drink from a horn. It's real. It's real. Somebody got chat actually got this for my birthday like 2 years ago. So I used to drink from it until an actual piece of horn went in my mouth from the inside of this thing. And ever since, I have realized I probably shouldn't drink from authentic animal pieces. This is no longer the 5th century, and I can not have to drink from animal pieces. I can drink from clean items. So I haven't used it since then, but for the proper donation, I'll do anything. Yeah. There you go. You can go see Orion Pirate from the Strange New Worlds for Halloween? Yes. When you see if you have a tie on, then your beard will be a decent length. Okay. $20, exactly, Brian. I will do anything to support my kids, including shaming myself and embarrassing myself. Speaking of, I got to give a shout out real quick to somebody who does want me to support my children, and a big thank you to this Wood Cannon. Thank you so much. Wood Cannon just donated $25 to the channel right up there. Appreciate you, Wood Cannon. You're amazing. You're a wonderful human being, and I hope nothing but blessings and happiness happen in your life. Everybody else, screw you for not supporting me. I'm totally kidding. Again, We're at like the end of the stream where I'm making jokes. If you take what I'm saying seriously, stop. Having fun. All right. Have you done a video on expansion cubes? Nope, I have not. Mostly because nobody does them. There are some people who do them, but my alliance doesn't. Don't forget to like. Yeah, liking the video helps out. Appreciate that. You also look like the guy at the pub mixed with someone who later in life will be yelling at people to get off your lawn. Mad respect. I wouldn't stress. It looks great. I can't tell if you're like hitting on me, Turtle, or insulting me. So thank you? Question mark. Thank you, I think. Drink from it when your YouTube chat does a diggy diggy hole. All right, so look, I don't drink beer, but I can tell you when I have this in my hand, what it makes me want to do is have like a very frothy beer and just like drink it, and I want it dripping down my beard. And I also want to be wearing chainmail, leather, and probably have a large axe nearby. These are all things I want just by holding this beard or holding this horn. So you got to be very careful. Some items have mystical powers, and that has mystical power. So I have to leave it on the shelf, or else I start doing really weird stuff I probably shouldn't be doing. So, yeah. Mead is a better drink from the horn. I actually really like mead. Yeah. I'm Australian, so that's normal convo, but more complimentary than an insult. Cool. Cool. Australian, that means you drink Foster's. I can insult people from multiple countries. Is there a Rev Viking pack? Maybe there can be. Rev's horn should be an artifact. I feel like that can go several directions. Oh man, we really derailed the stream. We've really derailed the stream. Is there a horn in here? There's not. There's a Horgon. If there's anybody who wants to give me a Horgon, I'll take it. But yeah, there's no horn in here. So we could have Rev's horn. We could have Rev's horn. Veering into Twitch territory? I know, we are. If y'all do enjoy the more comedic side of things, we typically do that on Twitch. A little bit more laid back, a little bit more goof focused. So feel free to hop on over there if y'all like it. YouTube, I do try to stick to really being informative, educational, not as much jokey, goofy. But it's completely up to y'all. Y'all don't feel obligated to do anything. But I appreciate y'all following, hanging out with me wherever you're at. So appreciate y'all. Oh my goodness. Any last minute questions? Any last minute questions? Because we have been streaming for almost 2 hours. And if y'all want me to make a video, it's already 3 o'clock. If y'all want me to make a video on the data, I should probably do that now. So, any last minute questions? We need a Rev pirate flag as an artifact. Good news, Benjamin. While it's not currently in the game, you, yes, you can be the proud owner of a Rev Deuce pirate flag. Believe it or not, there are actually 2 Jolly Rogers for Rev Deuce in existence to this day. And if you want one, they're actually pretty reasonably priced. The first one I'm going to show you is the Live Long and Plunder. You want to come in there and logically take everything that belongs to somebody else? Well, you can do it with a Live Long and Plunder pirate flag. This is, yes, actual flag size. It's 835 by 56, 100% polyester. Printed on one side, flag of ultimate beauty. Also, if you want to take it a stretch further, if not only are you illogical, maybe you're a little bit more emotional, and sometimes emotion's good. Get you the booty hunting pirate flag, which applies to many things in life, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you are flying it from your 4x4 pickup truck, I believe you. It fits. If you're hanging it in your house, it fits. If you put it above your marriage bed, it is guaranteed to give you 100% efficiency to stamina. So check out the pirate flags if you want to support the channel. There you go. There you go. Have you made a Newton video? I don't think I've made a Newton video. I probably should though. Probably should though. Check with the overlords when Torres to be in the store purchase. I can ask, Artelac. I can ask. Actually, I'll just go do that in now. When is Torres coming to the pay store? Inquiring minds want to know. All right, there you go. I've sent it to a janitor. There you go. Infomercial ref, you gotta do it sometimes, David. You never know. Sometimes the goofy infomercial, somebody will actually go to the merch store and buy something. Who knows? You never know. Why does Rev look like Bobby Hill on that flag? Art of Balance, you haven't come to Twitch then, if you don't know the answer to that question. I got my Mantis over 1 million strength, but the gas requirements to upgrade the defense platforms are insane. Also unlock the Bajoran faction, but they have nothing for me. What should I do? Oh, you should definitely. What do you mean Bajoran faction has nothing for you? Bajoran faction's amazing. The favors are incredible. I mean, you got to work through the process, but the favors are insanely good. I mean, they're just research, but it's very, very good. Very, very good. Oh, by the way, click. Get my Bajoran gas refinery done, which resets my refinery, if I remember right. So now I'm getting more. We love more. Yes, give me more. Wow. That's a good pull. Ooh, that's good. That's good. Hey, Queen Rach. That's a good one. Yeah, but that, yeah. Yes. Okay, that was bad. That was a good one. Why is the G4 Prime Parts X Borg doesn't work? It does. It does, Fire Medic. There's no problem with it. Works exactly as it's supposed to. Mark probably needs to rep up Bajoran. You do need to, work through it to level it up. But in terms of value, Bajoran is super good. Even the second rep level of the Bajorans gives a lot of good early favors. You get like the one that gives you more Ultra Recruit tokens, one that gives you more Latinum, one that gives you an extra daily for Syndicate XP. There's some real good ones in there. So, real good ones in there. All right, we just hit 2 hours. So I need to wrap up. We're actually over 2 hours, and I have got to. Sorry, y'all. I've absolutely got to go and make this video because y'all wanted me to make a video about the data and the charts and the exploration. So one thing I request, if you're listening here, if you have a high resolution shot, I need a high resolution shot. Since apparently y'all can see numbers in the wheel, I need y'all to help me out because I don't have that. Go to your Delta adversary. I need a screenshot. Show me this high resolution number that y'all can see right here. I'll make a video explaining how to read these maps, how to use them, and then also what the 6 systems are, because there's 3 for 25 and above, 3 for 24 and below. So hit me up, and we're going to wrap up for this. I hope you have an emergical day as well, Super Sugar Fat Man, and live long and prosper. Stay safe for the Space Cowboys. Deuces. That's me. Thanks for hanging out. I had a great time with y'all. I hope y'all had a great time as well. If you did, just do a couple things to help out. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Share this out with your alliance. Anybody who's a Star Trek fan, because we love talking Star Trek and nerd stuff here anyway. And I will see y'all later. Feel free to hit me up anywhere. Appreciate every single one of y'all. You're amazing. Bye.
An even better outro than the intro. For the Empire and glory to your house.